Hi everyone, my name is Courtney and today I'm going to share with you my favorite cookie recipe. So, before we get started, I like to prep everything before I start and put it into the cups and teaspoons or tablespoons or whatever I'm using before so I could just dump it in. Today you will need a 1/3 of a cup, 1/4 of a cup, a teaspoon, half teaspoon. So before we start, let's prep our ovens, and we're gonna be baking at 350 today. So if you start that up, and then we're gonna first make our flax meal egg. You can use a chia seed egg as well. I have never used that because I stick to the flax meal. They kind of do the same exact thing as a replacer, so if you want to try and use that, that's okay. So if you get a little bowl to start and make this, you're going to take 2 tablespoons of grounded flax meal to 5 tablespoons of water. And then you're gonna really mix that together so that it's fully combined. And then once that's mixed, you're gonna take that and you're gonna put that aside. It takes about 5 minutes to get that into an egg form. So you wanna put that aside because we're gonna bring that back in later. So next you're gonna get a medium bowl because we're gonna start the process of mixing the seed butter, coconut oil, and the coconut sugar together. So if you have a little saucepan, I like to use these for melting my coconut oil. So you're gonna take 1/4 of a cup of coconut oil and you're gonna put it in there and you're gonna put that on low to start heating that. Okay, so that's gonna start going on a simmering heat is fine. So in the medium bowl, while that is melting, we're gonna take our 2/3 of sugar. You can use whatever sugar you would like. I prefer coconut sugar, so I use that. 2/3 is equivalent of using 2 of the 1/3 cups. So you're gonna put that in. And then you're gonna take your seed butter. I use peanut butter and almond butter. I bounce back between those two. Today I'm going to use the almond butter. Peanut butter is delicious as well though. So then you're gonna put that into the medium bowl. Just get it all out. Set that aside. And I see the coconut oil is taking a little bit, so you can move it up to 2 on heat to really start to get that to melt down. These first couple steps are the most important ones during this to get the consistency right for these cookies. They are going to be softer cookies, especially when you're using coconut flour. I have not used a different flour for this recipe, but you can always experiment with things. So coconut oil is coming to a melt. All right. So I poured my coconut oil back into my 1/4 of a cup to make sure that it's exact measurement. And I'm going to put that into the medium bowl and you're going to mix. Really want to mix this hard to kind of get this seed butter really distributed between the coconut oil and the coconut sugar. Okay, once that's all mixed, you're gonna get a nice little sticky kind of dough right now. You can really feel the sugar in there. So the next couple steps, we're going to add the salt, the baking soda, and the vanilla. So first we'll start with the baking soda. You're gonna use half of a teaspoon of that. You're gonna pour that in there. Salt, you're gonna use also half of a teaspoon. And then vanilla, you're gonna use 1 teaspoon, but I'm using raw vanilla, so it's a powder. So I just take, since it's a little more powerful, a little pinch or 2. And then you're gonna mix all that together. Once that's mixed, we're gonna go back and grab the flax meal egg we made, and we're gonna combine that into this mixture. As you could tell, your egg is gonna, if your egg's runny with water, it's not gonna come out the same. You need a very thick substance, almost like an egg. So you're gonna pour that in, and then you're gonna mix that together. That's gonna change this texture a lot to more of a sticky kind of dough. Once we have that, we're gonna add in the flour. As I said before, I use coconut flour with this cookie recipe. I haven't tried anything else, but if you would like to try a different kind, that's totally okay. I would suggest almond flour, but the thing is, you might need to use a little more if you're using almond butter, because the recipe for coconut oil is always a little, or coconut flour is always a little less because it's has so much moisture. Okay. So then I'm going to pour the coconut flour into here, and that's 1/3 of coconut flour. And I'm going to mix this. All together. Really try and get the flour clumps out of the dough for baking. Okay. So next is the chocolate, which I've got here. You can use any chocolate. If you'd like to use a chocolate bar and break it up into pieces and then put that in, that's totally fine. I like to use cacao chips, so I say to use 2/3, but the chocolate's really up to you, depending how chocolatey you would like this cookie. Okay, and that is the final step before baking. So now to prep for baking, you want to have, I use a cookie tray with a piece of parchment paper so that the cookie isn't sticking to the tray. What's also really awesome about this dough is that you can put it in the fridge and use it as a cookie dough and bake the cookies whenever you would like. And you can also store it in the freezer. I like to do that sometimes when I don't want a cookie right away, but I have it for later on. So I always take a spoon, and then for me to put the cookie dough onto the tray, I grab a spoonful, and then I'm gonna use my finger to get it off. And I'm gonna do that. And just fill up the whole tray. All right, so once the tray is all full, I'm actually gonna spread these out a little bit from each other so they have room. Okay, so once that's done, they're ready to go into the oven. So I'm gonna pop them in. And you're gonna cook for 10 minutes. And that's it. It's very easy, doesn't take a lot of time to cook, and they're gonna come out like this. Yummy seed, gluten-free, and vegan cookies. Thank you. If you have any questions or you'd like to upload photos of what you've made, I'd love to see. My Instagram's at Courtney Coll, at Courtney-Coll. Oh, actually, I don't know if it's a dash. But thank you so much for tuning in.